So over the past few weeks, we've strength seen in the US market for the technology stocks. We have seen the Singapore technology sector coming back as well. In fact, we've seen a bit of rebound for some of the stocks. And in today's video, we just look at the 3 Singapore technology stocks that are in my watch list for more upside. And these 3 stocks are 𝐻𝐵, Frencken, and AEM. So just about 3 weeks back I talked about 𝐻𝐵 and AEM. In fact, I mentioned about there could be some rebound opportunity or maybe some upside. So we look at these 3 stocks again to see where are we and where could we potentially head to. Okay, so this is 𝐻𝐵 right over here. So just about 3 weeks back I talked about it in the video as well. 𝐻𝐵 kind of broke that $1.40 resistance level right over here, and there were some upside targets that were drawn. I mentioned it in the video, to about 150 and maybe even to 170. Right, so that were the upside targets that were drawn just about 3 weeks back, and this would be 𝐻𝐵. Okay, and a few days later it started to push up, and it kind of like broke the next resistance at about 150. So it kind of consolidated, broke above that 150, and same thing. The upside targets was reiterated to the same $1.70. So another 12% upside, as you can see right over here. So this is 𝐻𝐵. So let's take a look at 𝐻𝐵 right now, and of course we're going to Frencken and AEM as well to see where are we. Okay, so this is 𝐻𝐵 as of the 1st of December 2020, right? So yes, 3 weeks have passed and this is live. The market is currently trading, it's like Tuesday, 1st December, 4:10 p.m, right? So the market is still trading and currently trading at about $1.76 right over here, right? So I mentioned, just about 3 weeks back, we did a video, we kind of broke that 140. So there was some upside targets to about 150 and even to about 170. So you can see that we have kind of like broke both of these targets, and right now we can't approach that $1.80. It seems like a bit of profit taking is coming back. Some sellers are kind of like taking profit, which is normal. I mean, look at this, right? I mean, just about 3 weeks back, as mentioned, we're somewhere around here 141, 142, all right, and we have seen probably about like more than 25% upside in just about 2 to 3 weeks. So people definitely want to take some profit and take some money off the table as well, right? So nothing wrong. I think it's normal to see a bit of profit taking right over here. All right, so let's take a look at the trend for 𝐻𝐵. What do you think? All right, I mean, basically for the trend, I mentioned that just then when it kind of broke the 140, there were already some signs of the uptrend continuing in terms of the short term. Look at this, the moving averages, the green line was kind of like sloping upwards and above the 100 days moving average red line. So that's a sign of a good short to mid-term uptrend. Of course, for the longer term, there were also some signs of this, blue 200 days moving average, sloping upwards gently as well. All right, so it kind of like push up all the way to about 180. All right, so given that we have gone up by more than, I would say, about 20 to 25% over the past 2 to 3 weeks, we are seeing a bit of profit taking. But let's take a look at where there could potentially be a bit of support coming back. Right, so right now I would say that we are seeing some support at about $1.70, right? Let me just raise the support level. So it was pretty much at about like 160, 150, but that would be raised currently to about 170. Look at this, 170 was the previous high we have seen in about 2019, right? And it was actually our second target that was drawn last week. So we can't breach that level. So over the past, I would say 2 to 3 days, it seems like buyers are starting to come out near about 170, right? 170 to probably about 180. Okay, it's about a 10 cents range, about a 10 cents range. That would pretty much be the short-term consolidation over the next few days, or maybe over the next 1 or 2 weeks before we see more upside if we were to break that 180. All right, so right now you can see that sellers are still coming out at about 180 normal. As I say, we might want to consolidate from like 170 to 180 before eventually attempting to break that 180. So it's a good sign that it starts to consolidate and not just break up again over the next few days, because it might start to go up too fast, right? So we want to see it consolidate from like 170 to 180, or maybe over the next few days to 1 or 2 weeks, and then it attempts to break the 180. Good, then we might potentially head towards that $2. And of course, if it does hit to that level, you want to make sure you protect your profits. In fact, those who have got in around here, you are definitely making some money, right? So you want to make sure you protect your profits. Maybe raise your stop loss to like 167 or 168. If you would like to reverse back down, you get out, you still make money. All right, don't let it come all the way back down to like 140 or 150. Make sense? All right, so this is 𝐻𝐵. I would say that right now potentially it might consolidate from 170, the immediate near-term support, to about 180. Alright, so just be careful if it breaks that 170. If not, anything above 170, the uptrend still looks quite intact. Okay, so this is high P as of the 1st of December 2020. So let's take a look at another technology stock called Frencken, F-R-E-N-C-K-E-N, right? Frencken came to our watch list over the past few days. In fact, just last Wednesday or Thursday, we kind of see it break above this really key resistance level right over here. So there were some upside targets that were drawn when it kind of broke that 110. So it was then about $1.13, right? So look at this, the 110 was a really critical resistance. In fact, it's been consolidating from like 94 cents to $1.10, all right, since like August, right? So August, September, October, about 4 months, right? About 4 months up and down. But just last week, we kind of spotted these really bullish actions, right? With just sellers just being taken out, and it kind of broke that 110 and then kind of closed at about 113 or 114 right over here. So there were some upside targets that were drawn to probably about like 120 and even like $1.30, 130, all right, another 15% upside. Okay, so this is Frencken just last week. So let's take a look at it today again as of the 1st of December to see if where are we now and if there can be more upside. So this is Frencken as of the 1st of December 2020. So it seems like today we have kind of like pushed higher and hit a high of about $1.20, right? And a bit of profit taking came back. So I mentioned just last week was right over here when we kind of broke that 110, started to push up, and we kind of touched that 120. Okay, so 120 would be a bit of a, I would say, psychological resistance level, you know, a bit of profit taking there, which is normal. All right, I think if you're to get past that 120, let me just draw some upside targets. I think if you to get past that 120, potentially we can hit back to the target that was drawn just last week at about $1.30, right? So I would say a total of like about 15 to 16% upside, right, from that 110 level. So this is Frencken, right? So in terms of the trend, look at this, right? Since like March this year, we kind of hit the low, all right, started to consolidate and push up, and we have been holding above what we call this upward sloping channel support line. And in terms of the moving averages, right, the short to mid-term moving average, look at this, the green line and the red line, they're pretty much both sloping upwards, and you know, the green line is above the red line, which is the 100 days moving average. So short term wise, short to mid term, I think it's looking quite okay, above the new $1.10. So $1.10, as I mentioned, we were capped below since August, right? So we kind of broke this level, and right now I would say that 110 would be a new support level. So if it's above 110, I think it's still okay, right, in terms of short to mid term. Of course, we need to get past 120 to push higher to about 130. But right now, anything above 110, the uptrend looks quite good in the short to mid term. Okay, so this is Frencken, right? In past few days, just last week, you've seen a bit of bullish actions coming in. So let's see if there can be a bit more upside. So we have kind of like alerted clients to it, and even my inner circle members as well, somewhere around here. So yeah, let's take a look and see where we will go in the next few days. Okay, so let's take a look at the last counter, all right, in the Singapore technology sector, and this counter is called AEM, right? So yeah, one of the heavyweights in the technology sector in Singapore, AEM. And you know, this counter has not been doing much, I would say, over the past 2 to 3 months. We're seeing a bit of a push into funds, I mean, to the kind of the smaller cap plays like high P, you know, Frencken and all that. So AEM, you know, taking a bit of a break. It kind of like pushed to a high somewhere in August to about like $4.44, and you know, since then we kind of broke the support and we are like moving sideways. Right, so let's take a look at where we are right now. So you can see that over the past, I would say, you know, since September, October, November, about 2 to 3 months, we have seen a bit of support coming in at about that $3.30. I'll look at this right away. So about $3.30, $3.35. This is a bit of support. It was originally the resistance. So we kind of like broke down, you know, headed down to this support, kind of rebounded. You know, just about 2 weeks back, we rebounded from here as well. Right, so I would say it's pretty much still in a consolidation phase for AEM, even though the mid to longer term is still in an uptrend, right? Why? Look at this, right? In terms of the moving averages for the long term, look at this, the blue line, which is the 200 days moving average, is still sloping upwards gently. All right, so in terms of the long term, it still looks quite okay in terms of the uptrend continuing. All right, but of course, short term, as I mentioned, we might see it consolidating, right, which is what is happening over the past 2 to 3 months, right? It's pretty much consolidating from like 330 to about 380. Let me just draw some upside rebound kind of a movement. Look at this right over here. So 330 to 380, maybe even to like $4, and that's where, you know, some profit taking is coming back. I think for now, I would say about 380, and that's where selling is coming back already, right? So yeah, I mean, if you've like got in near this support, probably you might want to think about getting out near that 380 if you're going for the short-term rebound, right? Yeah, 380, I think that's where some sellers are coming. In fact, today I think it kind of like pushed to about what, 367, right? And sellers are back, right? So yeah, anything near 380, 370, I think that's where selling can continue. So we might start to consolidate in the short term, all right, in this range first, right? And we want to really see it a good move. I think I mentioned in the previous video, so I want to see a good move above that 380 to $4 before we can see some good signs of the uptrend continuing, right, and really pushing higher to find new highs, right, and back to that 440, $4 level. But right now, I would say it's still pretty much in a consolidation mode, a bit different from counters like HiP and Frencken, which are starting to push higher. But right now, this is still in a sideways movement. Okay, so this is AEM, but having said that, as I mentioned, the longer term uptrend still looks okay. I think anything above $3.20 to $3, right? You can see $3 is where the 200 days moving average is as well. So anything above $3 to $3.20, the longer term uptrend still looks intact. But yeah, just take note, in the short term, we might still see profit taking as it approaches any of those key resistance level like the 380 to $4. Okay, so this is AEM as of the 1st of December 2020. So yes guys, there we have it. We have covered just 3 stocks in the Singapore technology sector, which is Frencken, HiP and AEM. So I hope you have taken note of the levels for these 3 counters, and let's see if there could potentially be a bit more upside for all 3 of them, right? So guys, if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and of course smash the subscribe button if you have not yet done so, right? So you will not miss any such videos like this. So thank you so much for watching. Joey here. Take care.